Well, as things change in relationships, people are becoming a little bit more non-traditional when it comes to what they're going to do for their last name. And that's kind of what we got going on in this situation, where it's a little bit of a dispute where, you know, she basically wants her name on everything, doesn't want to give it up.
I mean, the hyphenated thing, I totally agree with and understand. But when she just says, my child, that I totally disagree with. It's both of their child.
Yeah, that some people are, you know, giving her the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the name thing. But yeah, a lot of people are just saying, look, I don't know, did she mean to say that? Like, I don't get that whole thing. Like, the way she said it's her child, that's where her thinking. You can't even defend that one.
She meant it.
Well, got a couple of comments here. Some of the texts that are coming in right now say, none of my female family members have taken their husband's last names. Some hyphen, some just kept our last name. We're all proud of our family and don't want to lose that part of us. My fiance is not okay with me not taking his name either, so we haven't gotten married yet. LOL. Wow. So apparently it is a dispute that's happening with several couples.
I think it's going to be something you see. I think you're going to see more of this. I think it's going to be where you don't. The woman doesn't take the guy's name all the time. I think it's going to be more prevalent.
Yeah,
like just with any kind of tradition, generations come in and
it changes. Yeah. Some people are talking about this too. One text says, I kept my last name when we got married because it's who I am and I love my last name. We'd also talked about combining our last names into a new name and both changing names. But the way it combined was so weird that we just scrapped the idea. But, you know, I've seen other couples do it. So that's kind of one of the new things that some couples are doing.
I mean, if you're getting married, the hyphenated with both of the names, I mean, that does say teamwork, does it not?
That's the fair way to do it if everybody wants their name represented.
You would then have a different name than your kids. They would then, if everyone kept doing this, so 3, 4, 5 generations down, who knows what kind of last name they might have through combinations.
So it would be if people, and I'm not saying people should do this, I'm just saying if you wanted to compromise and make everyone happy in that family, it would be something like if me and you got married, Jason Pennington Ralston. And then the kid would be, you know, Tennington Pennington Ralston.
Well, I think what they're talking about is they actually are, you know how like they take celebrity couples?
Yes.
Bennifer.
So you'd be Penningston.
Penningston or Rawlinton. Ralston. Nah, that's not good.
Yeah, no. I don't think you're doing that right.
Ralston. No. Okay, Penningston.
So some people are doing that kind of angle. And the only thing I would say to that, and not that this necessarily matters, but I just know because my mom is so in it doing the family lineage stuff, is I can't even imagine if you had, you know, say 50 years down the line, 100 years, and, you know, your future generations are trying to piece together where they came from. I mean, good luck. I don't know. Maybe it'd be easy the way documentation's better today, but that could be a challenge.
I mean, I don't give a frog fat ass what you do with your last name.
Yeah.
But to say, I don't know. I just think things are changing, man.
They are.
Because this seems to be a relatively new thing that you're seeing more and more is, you know, couples actually hyphenating their names and combining them. So if your son then has the hyphenated last name and he marries someone else with a hyphenated last name, well, they then have 4 hyphenated last names. And then if you go another generation down, could you have 8 to 12 to 18 hyphenated last names? And then when do you start dropping those names off? Or do you just, I mean, could you imagine if you're like at the DMV, how big your license would be?
What if you did this? What if when the baby is born, the husband and wife or the mom and dad, they play a round of Uno and whoever wins gets to choose the name?
Or you flip the baby. Heads, it's his name. Tails, it's her name.
I mean, these are all great suggestions in my opinion. Uno, flipping babies, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Ted just has an overall thought for the gentleman we just talked to a minute ago. Yes, what, Ted, did you want to say?
Oh, I mean, all the red flags are there. It's time for him to go.
Okay, well.
I'm serious. It's her child. It's her this. She doesn't understand that women and men's roles are different. And when a woman tries to take over a man's role, it doesn't work. Secondly, it won't be long before CNN's on his TVs and have a Bernie sticker on his bumper, and then he's done.
Okay, so you're just saying, or you heard enough already, and just be like, okay, this thing is
Dude, how many red flags? I'm sorry, Kev, how many red flags? My child, I'm an independent woman, I'm this. He has no say in anything. I guarantee if she tries to discipline that child, she's going to push him away It's my child. I got it.
But he can't run, though. He can't because he's the father. But I do agree. I don't know if they're meant to be
you can
together.
do anything you put your mind to.
Yeah, but
There's a kid on the way.
You're leaving the kid, though.
You're suggesting he run?
Well,
you don't run away from her. You don't run away from the kid. You run away from her. You take care of your child, of course.
That's okay. I agree with that because I don't think that sounds like those two.
But you definitely shouldn't try to make it work with her.
No way. Come on. The writing's on the wall. What happens with women, well, not every woman, but when a woman tries to do everything a man can do, they forget what they're supposed to do. Women do things that men can't do, and she doesn't understand that. There's no way I can work like my wife works and take care of the kids. And I mean, I chip in. I help around the house. I do things, but I don't ever want to take over her role, and she doesn't want to take over my role.
Yeah,
Okay.
you sound really old and dated in your way of thinking. There's a lot of men that actually stay home and take care of the kids, and the wife goes and works, and they have perfectly healthy, functioning, amazing relationships. It's going to be different for everybody.
Virginia, it's not, in my opinion, I'm not old and outdated. In my family, a man doesn't sit at home. It's not old and outdated. A man's role is to take care of his family.
But just because that's in your family does not mean that is how it is everywhere nowadays. Lots of women go to work and lots of men stay home and take care of the kids. And if it works for them, you can't say that anything is wrong about that.
Hey, listen, if it works for them, that's fine. But let me tell you something. A man's role on this earth is to take care of his family. That's why men are strong and masculine. That's what men do.
Mm-hmm.
So taking care of kids is not strong?
I see that Tide commercial with that guy sitting at home and he's washing his daughter's clothes and playing with her in the yard while his wife's out working. I tell my wife every time I see that commercial, I'm like, that dude needs to go to work.
If somebody's working in the house and the marriage is happy and the kids are happy, sir, you have no right to say anything about that relationship, that marriage.
Of course I do, because it's my opinion. I have a right to say whatever I want because it's my opinion.
But you're wrong.
It's traditional ways of thinking. That's what.
Well, traditions were meant to be broken. They're old and they're archaic, and that's not how modern people think.
Okay.
That's how soy boys think. There's too much soy in their diet. That's how
soy boys
think.
Soy boys. So you're giving the kids soy. It's making the boys soft.
No, just Google soy boy. Just Google it.
Okay.
He's trying to say like vegetarians.
Oh, okay.
They're too like
that's a new term for
with our old
for men who are soft. They're soy
Ted.
boys.
All right,
Ted. You sound old. But
all right.
Have a great day.
All right, we got a couple interesting comments just from that.
Oh, the phones are literally smoking.
Yeah.